Hi there, this is Savor Crypto. First of all, thank you for all the subscribes. I've got over 2,000 subscribers now, which is incredible. It's amazing, brilliant. Now, a lot of people have asked me how I set these farms up. You can see here what I've got in the EGLDMEX. I've got MEX and EGLD producing LordToken, and I've got EGLD and LordToken producing LordToken. Very simple. And then when it makes a profit, I'm putting it into the straight MEX farms. This one here is LordToken, and this is actually some MEX that I've got staked, but it's only $136 worth. Now, if you've got a Denver strategy still going, then you've probably got a farm that's creating straight MEX. And to do this, you want to change that. So all you do, you go to withdraw. Now, I don't want to do this with the maximum amount because my farms are earning a lot of money at the moment. So I'm just going to select 2%, say. But you could put that on max, and then it says here you will receive EGLD, MEX LP, and LordToken. I'm just going to go withdraw, do all the steps on my phone, sign transaction, transaction signed. Okay, so that'll say removing farm stake. Okay, so that's farm stake removed. Now remember, you can always check where you are. If you go up here and you see account details, you'll see I've now got $5.49 of LordToken, and I've got this LP token here, which is actually worth $2,607. So the LP token, you can see that now. If you go to liquidity, you'll see it there, right? So you've got an LP token now, so you can just restake that. So all you do, you go over to here, stake, and this is your LP token here, the EGLDMEX. So you want to put all that in, because that's what we're doing now. Leave that checked, because you want to get 15 times APR, and stake. Then confirm that on your phone. So that's adding the farm stake, and that's literally all you need to do. Now I'll do that today or tomorrow morning, because at the moment you can do this for free. After that you'll be paying the 1% penalty, which you can always check the details of there. Now if you started off with some straight MEX, you might have a farm that looks like this with just the green leaf thing there. If you started off with LKMEX, like this one here, you'll have the one with the little lock symbol there. Now these LP farms, these aren't going to grow in value now unless I add more into them, which at the moment I'm probably not going to. However, they are producing LKMEX, both of them. So what the process is now is we can harvest that and then put it into the straight MEX. So all we do, you go harvest, sign transaction, transaction signed. Okay, harvesting all rewards. Okay, so now in the straight MEX farm, you can just go stake. There's the LKMEX that I've just harvested. Go and do all that, leave that checked, go stake. Confirm that on Maiar. Transaction signed. Adding farm stake. And that is it. So you can see here that these two have started earning again. The money I've harvested has gone into here, and then you're growing that again in the straight MEX farm. Since yesterday, they've changed the withdrawal thing, so now it says individual rewards can be reinvested every 30 minutes with a minimum of $10. Yesterday they changed this to $50, and a lot of people were complaining, saying they're never going to get to $50. It's going to take weeks, and this is going to slow down the compounding. I think the reason they did that was to lower the amount of traffic on the network, because you can imagine yesterday everyone would be moving stuff around, and by pushing it up to $50 for a day, it would have slowed the traffic down. So I think that's why they did it. That's my guess anyway. But anyway, we're back on $10 now. So when these are at $10, you can reinvest these as well. So that everything's compounding everywhere. All we're doing now is making LKMEX. Now, for some people, that might not be what they want, because LKMEX isn't going to unlock until next December. However, it seems like you will be able to do stuff with LKMEX, particularly if you have, for example, some EGLD on the side, or if you've got the airdrop of ride tokens that some people are lucky enough to have, not me unfortunately. So I think producing a large quantity of LKMEX is beneficial, as long as you don't need the money straight away. If you need the money straight away, configure these to produce MEX, which you can then turn into EGLD, but you're only going to get 70% APR and not 1,000. Now, looking at the comments from last night's video, Alex, I think he wanted a copy of the spreadsheet that I used. This one here, or was it this one here? I can't remember. These are really rough spreadsheets. So what I've done an export into Excel, and I've put it in a Dropbox folder, and I'll put a link to that Dropbox folder in the description so you can go and help yourself. I mean, they are quite rough and not very clever, but you might find something there that you can sort of start to work on, and it might be useful. Obviously, I can't offer any support for these things because that would just use too much of my time. But if you find them helpful, generally put stuff in that Dropbox folder, and you can help yourself. I'll also leave a link to get a free Dropbox account if you need one as well. So that's all in the description. Now, there was a little discussion going on here about the APR in the farms, because it's a little bit confusing, because the MEX one here says 24x, and that says the multiplier represents the proportion of MEX rewards each farm receives as a proportion of the MEX produced each block, and then gives an example. So what we're wondering is, the MEX farm here, it says 24x, EGLDMEX farm says 44x, but the APR on the MEX one is slightly higher. It seems like people have slightly different opinions about which one's actually making the most. To me, I'm not really worried, because the whole point is I can't reinvest in the EGLDMEX farm because I'm not producing straight MEX anymore, so I can't create more LP tokens. So I'm kind of stuck with my LP tokens, and then I'm just producing MEX. So whatever's better, I'm not going to worry about it. Now, the complication might be when you get to look at people like Hooky here, who is saying, I'm staking all my LP in LKMEX, and then when I have a little wedge, I take my initial LP, which was made up of EGLD and MEX, and I withdraw it and sell the MEX for EGLD. Then I use the LKMEX I've earned and pair it up with the EGLD I sold and convert it back into an EGLD LKMEX LP token. That way I keep growing my LP tokens. Okay, I think I understand that. Sasha says, this is the MEX Lagon strategy. I'm doing this too, growing LP every 12 hours. But with impermanent loss, it depends on the price action of EGLD and MEX for long term. Okay, there's been a lot of discussion about impermanent loss, and I've kept saying that it's only an issue when you withdraw liquidity from the farms. Now, what Hooky's saying here is withdrawing liquidity from the farms. So personally, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to keep my farms straight like this. Also, Tiberiu, sorry if I haven't pronounced your name right, he said, what strategy would you recommend for someone like me? Just got my EGLD unstaked and looking to create a pool with my LKMEX. How would you go about it? Should I create a pool with all EGLD and LKMEX, or keep a little spare for the ride launch next week? It's up to you what you do, really. I'd probably, if I was you, I'd consider maybe saving half of your EGLD for next week. Obviously, depends if you have any ride token already. You might have got some in the airdrop or something, in which case you definitely want to keep some EGLD spare. But if you want to make the LP token, all you do, you come over to swap and you could get your EGLD and you could swap, say, like half of that for MEX. And then once you've got that, you could go over to liquidity and you go add liquidity, and you'd basically add your EGLD and your MEX there and create a LP pair. And then once you've got that, you can stake it in a farm. If you look at any of the videos from around the end of November, you'll see me doing this many, many times. So you can just follow the steps there. But yeah, regarding ride, I don't know exactly what's going to happen, really. I need to watch that Benjamin Minku town hall video from the other day and see what exactly he was saying, because I must admit I watched the first 10 minutes and then I went off and did something else, but I need to watch it properly because I think there's probably some good information in there that's very, very relevant to what we're doing here. Anyway, I've got a few things to do this morning, so I'm going to get on with stuff. Everything seems to be going well. Since I started making the video, my farms are up $140. This is all good, isn't it? I'm loving all this. This is how I'm going to make my million. I think this is my plan. Anyway, so thank you very much for everyone who watches my videos, everyone who likes, subscribes and leaves a comment. It all really helps. Do make sure you're subscribed, do tick the notification bell, and above all, tell your friends.